it's GameCube Index, and we're back in POG form! One of my favorite franchises in media is The Simpsons. I grew up with the show, my sense of humor is formed by it, and I've been a fan all my life. For a few years, my favorite album was Songs in the Key of Springfield. So in 2001, when Radical Entertainment just dropped The Simpsons into Crazy Taxi and called it The Simpsons Road Rage, it seemed like a sure thing. In the game, Mr. Burns bought the entire public transit system in Springfield and replaced it with nuclear-powered buses that endanger the health of the citizens that use them. The only way to put an end to this is for the rest of the town to essentially start their own Uber companies and earn money to pay off Mr. Burns. What follows is, as mentioned, Crazy Taxi. It may be a clone, but it's a great clone. And as we discussed in episode 8, it still feels like a rad arcade racer that pushes on you with a countdown clock and gives you a real sense of urgency, but that's not the entire game. Road Rage expands upon the formula in a couple of ways. There is a free ride mode which allows players to explore the entire town of Springfield without time constraints. This actually marks the first Simpsons video game to allow a player to fully explore a 3D model of Springfield. There's also a mission mode which allows players to take different characters around town and destroy different items within a time limit. For example, Lisa needs to sabotage some loggers to save the environment and will knock down 24 pieces of neatly placed piles of wood. Grandpa Simpson goes off his medication and thinks that garbage cans are out to get him, so he needs to knock over 12 cans before time runs out. Professor Frink and the mayor need to get to town hall to patent a hover car and avoid Mr. Burns along the way. It's a great way to explore the town and different vehicle options without having to unlock them all in the standard Road Rage mode. The entire main cast provided vocal work for the game, and while driving, the characters will spout some funny one-liners, and the cinematics are tongue-in-cheek. One of the first things Bart says is, "Hurry up and get to the game already," during the opening cinematic. All of that being said, while Road Rage is funny and full of great content, it really is a Crazy Taxi clone, and some of the weaknesses of that game carried over to this one. The variety of cars is great. You eventually unlock a total of 17 options, compared to Crazy Taxi's 4. However, the handling is all over the place. This provides some challenging gameplay, but sometimes you could drive into a car and it will flip you around and get you stuck inside of a wall, resulting in extensive time loss. The similarities to Crazy Taxi actually resulted in Sega filing a lawsuit in 2003 against Fox Interactive, Electronic Arts, and Radical Entertainment, claiming patent infringement. It was eventually settled privately out of court, but the claims Sega made concerning the similarities between the two games had been mentioned in reviews for Road Rage at the time of release and negatively impacted the opinion of the game. My presumption of the game was actually impacted negatively when returning to it, especially so soon after revisiting Crazy Taxi, but I was pleasantly surprised to discover that Road Rage holds up pretty well after all these years. It's still fun to play and as funny as ever. That is it for this week's episode of GameCube Index. If you enjoy the videos every week, consider backing us on Patreon. Even $1 a month will do a lot to support the project and help improve the experience. It's entirely up to you. Either way, please continue to show your support by subscribing, sharing, following along on Twitter at GCNdex and at GCNdex.com. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time when we enjoy roughly 40% of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.